So you decided to go with permanent teeth in 24 hours. But I know I'd still be a little bit concerned. Like, what if I spend all this money and it doesn't turn out how I like it? Were you worried about that?
I'm gonna be totally upfront. Yeah, I didn't have any clue. Anxiety sets in. Everything's a risk, right?
How much has really changed? What can people expect?
Everything's different. Like when it comes to this part of your body.
Rose had a lot of concerns about getting a 24-hour permanent smile, especially the cost. Now, 1 year later, he's here to share how it's really impacted his life and whether it was all truly worth it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Before you got your new smile, how were your teeth affecting the way you felt day to day? And what made you finally say, I need to get something done now?
So for me, I had a lot of issues like headaches, pain that was unbearable. But you have it so long, you kind of just get numb to it. So I had abscesses, things to that nature, and I couldn't eat like a normal person would eat. So that would entail like eating on one side or eating on the other side or swallowing food, not even being able to tear into like, let's say a burger or a sandwich. I would have to tear off the food and then feed it to myself, which is, not normal, but going to restaurants, like being conscious of people watching you eat and stuff like that. I mean, those are some of the things that I kind of had to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Wow. And how do you think that affected you, like, mentally?
For me, in my experience, I mean, it definitely affected my mental health. And also a professional barber and cut hair, but smiling, covering your mouth, and COVID was like the best thing ever for me because you could wear a mask, and just embarrassed because of the missing teeth and things of that nature. Just orally is just a nightmare. And I went to the dentist because I was like, I got to do something. Like, this is crazy. Like, so I went to the dentist, and the dentist pretty much, he was very, very blunt. And he said, listen, man, you're going to need dentures. And I was like, dentures? I'm 40. Like, when you look at dentures, you typically are looking at a older person. That's always been my, you know, finding. But he said, man, you're young though. Like I can't explain it. He was like, you have a lot of bone loss. And I think it's genetic. And he was like, you're gonna need dentures because as time goes on, your teeth are gonna fall out, you're gonna have loose teeth, you're gonna have issues. And I was like, I was just devastated at 40. So needless to say, let's say the next 10 years, it was challenging. I would, be invited to things and sometimes I would go. But as things got worse, I would refrain, I would decline. I didn't really want to be around people just because, I felt like people were just watching me and really judging you, based on, what your mouth looks like. So, yes, that's definitely something that was, I experienced.
And no one deserves to live like that, you know?
No, absolutely not.
So, whenever your dentist had told you, "Hey, dentures is probably the next route," why did you not end up going that direction and instead going towards dental implants? Because usually you would think, something like dentures is cheaper, right? Like, why did you decide to go to dental implants?
Even though I was being proactive and I sought out a dentist in Atlanta and I actually went, I got fitted for them for the dentures and everything. And it was only going to be a full denture on the top, and on the bottom, it was going to be a partial. But I was praying and I was like, this can't be the end all tell all. It has to be better technology, it has to be something innovative. And one day, I'm just sitting there out the blue and I saw an ad and it said Nuvia. And I was like, let me do my due diligence. Let me do my research. So I went in and embarked on that and I really delved in. I was trying to convince myself not to even go forward in that direction. Just stay where you are, you know? So needless to say, I got excited because I'm like, wow, this is new. They've only been around for 5 years. The reviews are great. People are raving about, teeth in 24 hours. I'm like, this can't be possible. Like, how do you heal that fast? Then how do you know if you're a candidate? All these things are going. Then the ultimate thing is the cost. I didn't have any clue, but I didn't even worry about that then because it was like, I'm just fact finding. I'm just trying to find information. But you know what? God is good, and something happened to me, life changing, that was unfortunate. I mean, we all experienced loss, and I lost my brother, and he was my baby brother. We were extremely close, and he passed away at 23. And I actually just moved to Houston. Like I was here a week, and God bless our family. It's just me and my mom, and I have another brother. I lost my baby sister as well in 2003. But God is He's amazing in a lot of ways when you have that type of experience and something happened with our family, and I was able to do this because things kind of worked out that way. And I was elated because I didn't know like where it was coming from. I didn't know how I was gonna go about it. I didn't even know where to start or what the process would be. I'll give you an example. I was cutting hair one day, and I was cutting a kid, and the kid, got away from his mom and was like, "I'm gonna sit with the barber, mom." He was a young kid. And I sat him in the chair and he was just looking at me. And you know how kids don't, they're innocent, right? But if they see something that doesn't look right to them, they're gonna comment. And he was like, "Mommy, what's wrong with his teeth?" And when I tell you it was like somebody just ran me over with an 18 wheeler, like I was like, wow. But even a kid, like, they know. But I thank God to just sum it all up. He made it possible.
I love that you were determined to make it happen, and you did. I do wanna ask you though, whenever you were, going in to Nuvia, you found out kind of your cost. Did they offer anything that made it feel even more possible that you could afford this? Did they offer, like, different sort of, payment options, or how did that part of it go?
So in my experience, again, my smile design, I remember we were discussing things, and I like to let people know like what type of a person I am and like kind of where I come from. And me and him we were tight off the bat. We established a rapport, and he was very straight up and straightforward with me. And there were some options that were discussed. But I didn't need the finance options, thank God. I was able to do something that's probably unprecedented. I'll probably never be able to do again, but it was an investment. So it didn't matter at that point. Like I was ready to go. Some things had to kind of shake itself out. And when it did, I was ready to go, like locked in, let's go.
Well, for those who are watching and wondering what, those payment plans can look like, there is a dental implant cost guide that you can download in the description below if you're curious about that. So, Rose, I want to get to the next question, which is you were determined, you decided to go in, get your permanent teeth in 24 hours. But, me personally, I'd still be worried like, what if I spend all this money and it doesn't turn out like I hoped? Like, is this really going to be worth it? Were you worried about that at this moment?
I'm gonna be totally upfront. Like for me, yeah, anxiety sets in. Everything's a risk, right? I mean, you get in your car, you don't know if you're gonna have a flat tire. You don't know if you're gonna get in an accident, but you still get in the car because
Mhm.
you have things to do. Same thing with relationships. You don't know the person initially. You build trust, you build a rapport, and now they're your significant other. But it's still a risk, when you actually love someone. Same thing with a job. You don't know. Things can change in a year. But I mean, if you live predicated by fear, like what are you actually gonna accomplish or what are you gonna do? So I'm not moved by that. That doesn't that doesn't stifle me or put me in a situation where, I'm not gonna do that. I'm more of a maverick. Like I'm a six shooter guy. Like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. If it
Mhm.
don't work out, it don't work out. Let's find another way, you know?
Right.
So I'm a person that the glass is half full. I'm very optimistic. I vetted the company, and there was nothing that I saw that would be adverse. So I was like, that's a go. I'm not gonna sit here and make excuses anymore. Like, this has to be done.
Wow.
So,
I love the way you put that. I love the way you looked at that,
oh,
you know?
absolutely.
So, you went in, had your surgery, and then had your implants placed. So, the next day, did you really come back and get your final set of teeth? Walk me through what happened there.
So in my experience, yep, I went in. Um, when I came home, I was laughing. Um, and the reason why I was laughing is because, like, I was looking in the mirror, I had no teeth. So I was like, "You look weird." You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, I'm not my face wasn't swollen or anything, you know?
Wow.
So it was like looking at yourself, but with just no teeth. Mm, can't wait till tomorrow because I can't walk around like this. So the next day, like, literally breath of fresh air. I can't even I wish I could bottle that feeling in that moment because it was so euphoric. Like, I mean, it was so emotional too. Like, I was by myself. You know what I mean? I couldn't share it with anybody but the people that were, giving care of me, like the surgeons and my nurses and whatever. And it was a beautiful moment. Like, tears were shed, and it was just I had to bring back to remembrance all those experiences throughout all that time. And it was just like, wow, now I can really be myself. I can really smile now.
Wow.
I can really get back to being me. And I just didn't know how to feel. Like, it was like I was walking on cloud nine. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
my confidence. But then reality set in because I was looking in the mirror and I looked like one of the chipmunks because I swelled up like a couple days later. So it was like a delayed thing. All right. I didn't have no pain. Like, like, oh, I'm in pain. Nope. It was just discomfort. It was great just to be able to look in the mirror and smile. Like, the day I got out of there, so it was the 22nd when I went. Mind you, my birthday is 5 days later. I'm still gonna turn up for my birthday. So 5 days later, I'm taking pictures like I never even, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even really tell. I could tell because I was swollen, but like, yeah, you gotta see this. I'm happy, and it's like, yeah, all of those things that people might have said before, and the ridicule, and felt like Frankenstein at times, like, oh, look at him. Look at that guy. He has no, he has missing teeth, whatever, whatever. And it was like, now I don't. So what are you gonna say now?
Yeah, and that's just 5 days later at where you're
5 days
talking about.
later, 5 days later, I was outside,
Wow.
celebrating my birthday. So
That's incredible. So when do you think this, or when did this swelling start to go down after?
my birthday was on a Tuesday, I want to say. It was like that weekend, it started subsiding. And it was really just in this area, like where my cheeks are, and maybe a little bit like here in the chin area. But it wasn't like, oh my God, what happened? Like, you were not, no, it wasn't any of that. So it was just a lot of discomfort, no pain.
That's so incredible. I mean, I've heard that a lot interviewing patients, like, it's mainly just been a discomfort thing, which is
Yeah,
so surprising, you know? And then with the whole swelling thing, I know everyone's kind of different in that journey, but that's
right.
awesome. I'm really happy to hear 5 days later, you're celebrating your birthday, like, as
Oh
you
yeah.
should be. Incredible. Now that it's been 1 year, little over 1 year since getting your new smile, what changes have you noticed on your outlook in life? And, how much has really changed?
for me, my confidence level just shot through the roof. Changes, I lost probably, so before my surgery, I was probably about 245. I got down to like 220, which is light for me. I
Mhm.
don't really like to walk around like that. But I was on a soft food diet. When I got that 4 month clearance, 255. So I'm walking around.
There
And
you
I need to
go.
get me gym. You know what I mean? But I could eat whatever I want.
Wow.
Whereas before, I would be scared to bite into a candy bar, let's say. I could eat whatever. Literally, I remember the first time I ate ribs for the first time in probably 15, 20 years. And I was just like, wow, like it's a whole different experience.
Yeah, I
And
can imagine.
these prosthetics are so well put together. Just give me a few examples. Wings or a steak. Couldn't even eat a steak because I couldn't chew it. Couldn't eat fruit. So like chewing or biting into an apple, that was not gonna happen. My teeth would have been in the apple.
Wow.
So that's how bad, my situation was. So yeah, eating, I love it. I look forward to eating. Before it was like, I gotta eat something. Well, it's gonna have to be this because I can't eat that. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Now just whatever I want to eat, I eat.
That's incredible. Totally, like
Night and day.
yeah, there you go, night and day. That is incredible. So, whenever you are eating or talking, do they feel like, a part of you, or do they feel like fake, or, like, what do they feel like now?
So for me, they don't feel fake. They do feel a part of me.
Wow.
But that took a while. In the beginning, it was always, you got to train these muscles. So there would be times where I'll be, doing that or, you know what I mean? Like everything's different. Like when it comes to this part of your body. I think the craziest thing was like my tongue. Like I couldn't understand. Like my tongue was just on its own agenda at
Like, where should it
times.
go?
Yeah. And it was like, I don't know what to do.
It sounds like, yeah, like, once you have this foreign object in your teeth, it's gonna take a little bit of adjusting, a little bit of getting used
Right.
to, but after some time, you're like, "Alright, this is mine, like, this is me."
And you know what? I will also piggyback that in saying, like, because I had my own teeth that you were given when you were born and, then became an adult. And I would have to say these are just better because they're more sturdy. Like, I don't worry about like when I have my natural teeth, I will refrain from eating a candy apple, yeah,
Uh-huh.
or like like popcorn. But this is like I can bite on anything and I feel like invincible. So
Wow, that says a lot.
it
They're
really
strong.
is
And
very strong.
they're made of zirconia, right?
Zirconium, yep, yep.
Wow, incredible. Well, here's the big question. A big worry you had before getting this done was, "What if I spent all this money and it's not worth it?" So, here you are 1 year later. Has it been worth it, or do you have any regrets?
No regrets. Not at all. Not even close. And I would do it again 10 times over.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, do you have any advice for someone who maybe was in a similar position that you were in and kind of going through this alone? What advice would you give to them, um, if they're looking into something like this?
My thing is this. I'm all about change and not to go back because I don't like going backwards. I like progressing, right? And moving forward, chasing that mountaintop, being ambitious and like I said before, the glass is half full. I'm always optimistic. There has to be a better way. There has to be a more efficient way, a more proficient way. And when you have the opportunity to change, do it. When you have opportunity to live, live. I wasn't able to live, Emily. can live now, but I'm still not where I want to be. You know, I mean, that's a struggle I think most people have, but it makes it easier when you knock off those things that are plaguing you. So for me, I want to be able to help anybody out there that's listening today. If you're on the fence and it's something that, oh, I don't, just pull the trigger. But before you do that, do your due diligence. Make sure you vet, make sure you get all the information that you need to make an informed decision. But if you want to use me as an example, there is no way, shape, or form asking me that question again. What I would do it, and I would do it with no hesitation, knowing what I know, because it's life changing. Nuvia saved my life. I'm here to tell you there's light at the end of the tunnel. And if you have a support system and people that love you, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't do something to change your situation. Don't worry about the costs. We spent money on things that don't even matter anyway. Invest in you. And that was one of the things that was missing in my life. Like, I was always worried about everybody else. But you know what? Sometimes you got to be a little selfish. And that was my birthday present at 50. And 51, it was a brand new Lexus, which is my dream car, which I'm driving today. So
Wow, that's
that's what
incredible.
it is.
Rose, I think you are going to be a light for a lot of people that are watching this video today. So seriously, thank you so much for being open and vulnerable with us and sharing your story.
My pleasure.
Well, for those watching, if you are curious to learn more about Nuvia's permanent teeth and 24-hour process and get more information about the cost, be sure to check out that free dental implant cost guide in the description below. And to everyone watching, until next time.
Keep smiling.